Howdy gamers, old gamer guy here. Welcome to another Civ 7 video. We have skipped about 25 turns, but when we left off at the end of my first hour impressions, I said I might make a video when I hit the Antiquity crisis, and we are just about there. This is not a guide on how to play. I'm growing my city in a very haphazard way. This town was hostile to us, but now they are friendly. This town was hostile, and they remain hostile. They are my main problem at the moment. This town was friendly, and now they are hostile because of the diplomatic actions of the Mayans over here, but I am also taking diplomatic action with them. I did finally create a settler, and we did found another town down here, but then that enemy town to the west began to attack. In that first video, we met these first three leaders, but since then I have met Benjamin Franklin, and he is in charge of the Roman Empire. I can't see very much of his land, and I can't see any of Harriet Tubman's land, but they are the most friendly to me out of all of them. I still have a number of my original Egyptian infantry units, and we are just now getting into some combat down here by the town, but I am also bringing in a brand new shiny chariot unit to help us fight.
He was the first to construct a wall 80 miles in length, which was to separate the barbarians from the Romans.
That's all very interesting, Brienne of Tarth, but we have a problem here. After the rains were harder and heavier than before, there is unusual verdure in the fields. Rats and mice follow, and at the fringes of the land, illness begins to spread. So here we are. We are at the first crisis, and now we have crisis policies. Each one has a positive and a negative, and we will unlock more of these as the crisis progresses. But as you will see, this pestilence is not the only problem we will be dealing with. Our settlement down there has been officially raised. There's a boat sitting here on the land, apparently, which doesn't make much sense, but I'll have to take out that boat if we are to reestablish our town down there. And I do want to reestablish my town. But for now, we're just going to close in on this enemy town over here, and we're able to take care of these enemies fairly easily. But look at this. This is kind of a weird pathing issue. If I just move the target a little bit, the path changes drastically. So I have noticed a few little technical weird things here and there. I'll talk about them as we go, but I am still very, very much enjoying this game. I think I would probably put it at about a 4 out of 5 in the store right now if I had to give a review, but this is not a review. This is just me playing. But never mind that. Our diplomatic action here has borne fruit, and these guys are now friendly with us again. So that's nice. And Benjamin Franklin is proposing we form an alliance, and so I'm going to accept this. Amina and Pachacuti were denouncing me regularly until I opened up the markets to them, and so they've been marginally more friendly with me since then, but Ben Franklin is the first one to propose an alliance with me, so we are now in alliance with the Romans as we continue to fight this independent power down here, and these independent powers can actually put forth some pretty good units. We'll get back to that in a moment. Here I have a settler. I was going to found another town on the west coast over here, but I think I'm going to go back down to where that original town was that just got raised, and we'll try to make another town down there. You can see I am winning these battles as we go, but the game considers it a major or a minor victory as long as you are doing more damage to them than they are doing to you. So we are getting injured as we advance right here, and by the time we actually get to the town, one of these units I think is going to die. I think I did eventually make another chariot unit to help out, but our units are slowly dwindling here as we advance. So it's turn 68 now. This is a normal length game, and we are starting to get messages about the end of the age. And this is basically just telling us that not all of the units and not all of the smaller towns will make that transition. There's one of the larger boats that this independent town has in the water. That boat has been going around and terrorizing the shores. So these independent towns can put out some good units. I think they have 2 or 3 of those large boats in the water. But meanwhile, our one scout that remains has reached the northern edge of the map. And here we are back to this other boat that's on the land against all logic. But because it's on the land, my infantry can attack it. Those boats are in the water, so I can't attack them. So I've got to get away from those boats. As our scout continues to explore, some of the AI is fighting amongst themselves over here. But never mind that, because all of these problems are not enough. Now we are having a gradient dust storm. If it's not one thing, it's another, but that's all right. The people want to celebrate anyway. I can't remember which one of these I chose, but never mind that. Here's what my normal policy screen looks like at this point. So I've got a number of them unlocked. You can change these anytime you unlock a new civic. But now I have some damaged buildings, and so for my production I have to actually repair these things to get them back in working order. So I can't make any new units while I'm doing this. I can't make any new buildings. We are trailing in civics to the Romans. Our battle with the boat on the land continues, and we have now sunk the boat on the land. So hooray for us, and we can bring in our settler unit to reestablish this town. But here's how you get into some diplomacy with these little towns. When I click on this enemy town, it says I can befriend the independent for 85 influence, or I could incite someone to raid them, apparently. But if I befriend them, then I can use influence to aid that befriending process. And now I am befriending them faster than Pachacuti. So yeah, eventually they will be on my side. They're still hostile for the moment, but that's some positive news. We are continuing to repair our damaged buildings, and here's some more positive news. Our treasury is overflowing. So I'm not playing very intelligently, but there are some bright signs as we reestablish this town down here. Only we're not really reestablishing it because it has a different name. So we're just going to pretend that first town didn't even happen. We can expand this town just like we can a city, but a town is different from a city because the production will be converted into gold. You can convert the town into a city, and eventually the town can be specialized to do other things, but right here at the beginning, all of the production is just being converted into gold. That's how I understand it anyway, but never mind that. Our chariot unit has been winning battles, but they finally got so injured that they collapsed entirely. But never mind that. Look at all these enemy ships approaching. That's not great news, but never mind that, because the plague is getting stronger. The crisis is continuing. We have another crisis policy slot, so we can take a look at that screen with the R1 menu, the radial menu, which I'm not even sure I mentioned in that first video. But here are some new policies to choose from. That enemy ship can bombard those med J's, so I'm moving them away from the shore, and I'm just going to have them rest until they are fully healed. But now that ship will start to bombard the town. So if my diplomatic actions are not successful before the town is destroyed, then once again I will have a razed town. Once again I will have wasted time and resources. But never mind that. That's just how I roll. If you watch my channel, you know that I might love these types of games, but I'm not great at them. There's a little graphical glitch there as the icon moved, but the ship didn't. I've noticed the performance is pretty good, but there are some hitches on the Pro. There are some little frame rate hitches as things happen in the background. But never mind that. We have successfully befriended this town, so those boats will no longer bombard that little town on the coast. But meanwhile, this town has now gone into a state of unrest. So I can't repair anything. I can't build any buildings. I could have trained a unit, but I didn't realize that at first. It just kept taking me to production. So I started going over to this town, and I just built a bunch of improvements. And I think I didn't really have to do this. I burned through a bunch of my gold doing this. But I think if I had just produced a unit up there in that city, then I could have moved on. But instead I built a bunch of improvements down here at Neckin. But here it is talking about how we can specialize the town if we want to. By default it is on a growing town setting. I'm placing an altar here, but once I do that, you can see there are no more buildings available to construct, and I can't do anything else because it's a town, I think. But if I go up here and click on the town focus, it is on growing town by default, but you can see this list of other specialties, and I guess you can only change this one time, so choose wisely. But there are some pretty good bonuses in here. Unfortunately, my city is in a full state of pestilence now. But I did finally realize that I could build a unit up here, even though we are still in a state of unrest. So I built a merchant, and I'm going to send them up here. The game will automatically show you which trade routes are valid, which towns are valid to create a road in between. And that road will automatically be created, by the way, once the merchant gets there. And now I have a migrant. I can't remember exactly why this unit was created, but it's a migrant from my city, and I can send them down here to my town and have them move and I guess help production down here in this town, which is cool. Got an archer down here. We're going to build some fortifications, and I think I can shoot into the water from there. But never mind that, because the age is officially going to end, and we will enter an age transition in which we will choose how the Egyptian civilization will evolve. Like I said before, not all of your units will make the transition. Not all of your smaller towns will make the transition. Your commanders will, apparently. Here is the official end of the crisis. The age of antiquity is ending, and we will enter a stage of regrowth. We can see a few little frame rate issues as the turn plays out here, but there it is. The age of antiquity has officially come to an end. So now, if you have been going along those legacy paths, you could have some rewards to take forward into the next age, but unfortunately I have not been playing very intelligently, as previously mentioned, so I'm not really doing all that well. Amina looks like she is doing very, very well, and Pachacuti is close behind her. So hopefully I can turn this around and become a dominant civilization in the next stage. But I am going to continue here, and I guess I will eventually make another video of the age of exploration, but here we go. Since we're going into the exploration age, I can choose another civilization. These are the ones I have to choose from. But I did end up going, I think, with that first choice, the Abbasids. The Egyptians and Xerxes are very much into economics and culture. The Abbasids are cultural and scientific, so hopefully I can get some more cultural bonuses going. But here we go. We are officially going into the age of exploration, and I'm going to show you one more thing here before I actually end the video. Before I get to that new thing, here is an old thing. We chose our legacy when we started out. You can change your mind at any time with this particular decision. I went with the science advisor in that first age, but now I'm switching to the economic advisor. So now I will have different legacy paths and objectives to complete, or not complete, as the case may be. Let's be honest. But here is that final new thing I wanted to show you. You can choose a legacy to take forward. I only unlocked the scientific attribute point, but there are some other options here to choose from. Cultural Dark Age, Economic Dark Age. We could change our capital. There's also a militaristic Dark Age. But I'm going to go with this scientific attribute point, and we're going to press forward. I guess maybe I'll make just one video of the entire exploration age and that crisis. But for now, as always, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.